In the depths of a cold, dark cell, where the damp walls dripped with despair, there was a prisoner named Edmund, sentenced to death for a crime he did not commit. Edmund was informed of his impending execution only a few days before its execution, and he was transferred to a small enclosed cell where he would spend his final days in this world. Edmund was deeply affected by the isolation and harsh conditions inside the cell, gradually losing his mind and plunging into a world of madness. One night, amidst the voices of darkness, he heard a strange voice calling out to him, "Hello, John." Terrified, Edmund looked around, trying to identify the source of the voice, only to notice a small cockroach sneaking into the cell. It was a peculiar cockroach, possessing an unusual gleam on its body. Curiously, Edmund looked at the cockroach, but despite his madness, he couldn't believe that this voice was coming from a cockroach. However, as the cockroach repeated its words clearly, Edmund jumped from his bed, frightened by the sight. The cockroach spoke calmly and gently. "Hello. I am a cockroach. You won't see another like me. My name is Sylvester, and I'm here to be your companion in your final days." As Edmund tried to comprehend what was happening, he began to consider the idea that madness had indeed taken hold of his mind. However, the strange cockroach appeared to him in a different way, possessing an unusual gleam and speaking in an unusual voice. Edmund decided to respond to this strange phenomenon. Perhaps this was his only chance to communicate with something real outside the world of darkness and isolation in which he had lived for so long. But despite Sylvester the cockroach coming to help, Edmund responded with anger and contempt. How could a cockroach living on human leftovers help a human? Sylvester smiled and calmly replied, "You are like me now, living in a narrow corner and eating human leftovers." Edmund felt pain after hearing the cockroach's words and thought of rising from his place and getting rid of it, but he hesitated. He decided within himself that what the cockroach said was true. Sylvester continued his speech saying, "I am here because I felt your loneliness and sadness. I've seen a lot in this cell, but I've never seen anyone suffer like you. I'm here to help you endure these final moments, and perhaps even help you find inner peace before the time comes to bid farewell." As those words echoed in Edmund's mind, he began to feel some tolerance and comfort. Sylvester might not have been exactly what he expected, but his presence represented an opportunity to communicate with a living being, even if it was the size of a cockroach. Suddenly, Edmund realized that the solitude was not as severe as it had been since he arrived in this cell. The outside world may have forgotten him, but there was another living being in his cell, offering him comfort and companionship in these difficult moments. Edmund said with a weak voice and a tear in his eye that he was afraid of death and that he feared being useless and that he didn't think anyone could understand or help him. But he thanked Sylvester for his initiative. After a period of silence, Sylvester answered in his usual calm manner, comforting Edmund, saying, "Perhaps I am the one most capable of understanding you, for I walk with death every day. I lost my family and comrades in one day. We were attacked by another prisoner when we were gathered around our food. I lost my family in a terrible way, crushed under his worn-out shoe." This moment was a turning point in Edmund's relationship with Sylvester, as he began to feel empathy and tolerance towards this small creature. Sylvester continued his speech, comforting Edmund, saying, "Do not fear, for my grandfather always said that death is like sleep, and the soul does not die. Just as there is no pain when entering a state of sleep, so too is death." Edmund felt some relief after hearing Sylvester's words, and thanked him gratefully. After days, the sentence was executed, and it was said that the condemned man lost his mind as he was seen looking at the cockroach near him, saying, "Thank you, Sylvester. Thank you, Sylvester. Thank you, Sylvester."